Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name's Elliott and you're watching Rickety Ski Reviews. Today we're going to be answering your questions, helping go through comments, and just, I don't know, try to help everybody. This is a kind of a weird time of year, but as far as buying skis, I don't know, I feel like it's good to have the information. Maybe I can help people thin down their list of prospective skis, and then they know what to demo or what they want to demo. I don't want to tell people what to buy. You know, like, you really have to go by what you like in a case-by-case basis. But more, I think there are so many different skis, so many different models, so many different brands that I would like to at least help people kind of narrow down what they're looking at. And so, okay, if you care about this might help you narrow down your list, and then you guys can go out and demo and try things. That's nice in the summer, but like, you guys can't demo stuff after you narrow it down. So maybe if I do this now, I can help you narrow down what you're gonna go out and try. So without further ado, let's jump right into your comments. All right, first comment comes from Chief2459. They say, do ski boots go bad with age? I have a pair of boots I got over 10 years ago, but I probably have less than 30 days on them because I took a long break from skiing. Yes, your boots have gone bad. I'm sorry to tell you, I take no satisfaction in telling you your stuff is bad, but your stuff has gone bad. Essentially what happens is the plastic of ski boots over time wears down, especially if it's exposed to sunlight and UV rays. So yeah, more than likely your ski boots have gone bad. There's other things like packing them out and how many days you get on them and everything like that, but there's just only so much life in the plastic. It's kind of like if you look at shoes. I mean, I guess they're rubber, but it's similar in concept, where there are people who are like big shoe fanatics, where they have collector item shoes, but then they never wear them, and then you'll see people take their hands to the rubber and they'll just completely crumble. Plastic isn't quite as sensitive, but it's pretty close. Same for helmets. Like, helmets go bad over time. Yeah, those boots are gone. I would try to find something. You know, there are good deals, especially if you can get last year's model. I go that way if you're trying to look for deals, but boots are the most important piece of equipment, and anything that old, I would say, sayonara, it's done. All right, Asriel169 says, happy birthday, love your content. I'm new to skiing, however, I'm already past the beginner stage and I'm around an intermediate. Congratulations. I love the idea of the Atomic Maverick 88 Ti, but I feel like it might be a bit much for me to learn a good foundation. I was then turned on to the Atomic Maverick 86C. I'm a 34 male, 6 foot, 195. I like to stay mostly on groomers, but would love to venture between trees and maybe light snow off trail. 85% groomers and maybe moguls eventually when I build confidence. I found a great deal on the 86C. Would love your input. I don't think the Titanal is necessarily what makes the Maverick a hard ski to recommend to beginners. I think that a lot of it is like the shape and the turn style, that it's really rewarding if you're right on the turn, but if you kind of get lazy or the timing's off, they're not as forgiving with how they kind of set up in the shape. So I would say that go for it. I mean, if you can try them, but it isn't the Titanal that's making it unforgiving so much as it is the ski shape, in my opinion. If you wanted something that I think might be good for you at that stage, I would look at like an Elan Ripstick. Specifically, I've tried the 96 Black Edition, but you could do the non-black edition if you're looking for something a little bit softer. Or I honestly do think that the Salomon stance is a little bit more forgiving in that way. You don't have to be quite as accurate with your turns. They're a little bit more forgiving. The reason I like the Elan Ripstick for intermediate skiers is partially just because of the asymmetrical shape. The skis are always kind of ready to go into their turn, just the kind of the way that they're stanced. And I think it's a nice option because it allows intermediate skiers to focus on the rest of the turn, where the turn initiation kind of happens automatically. You could say the same thing about like the Atomic Red Star series. I think that you can grow out of that, and like eventually you're gonna want to kind of feel that turn initiation on your own. But as far as like getting the ski on edge and focusing on the other stuff, I think for intermediate skiers it's nice when one thing is kind of taken out of the equation and they can focus on the rest. Your mileage may vary though. I mean, it's hard. People want a ski that's like a perfect fit for them. They want a recommendation, and then they also want the ski on sale. It's like, okay, well, those things don't always line up, you know? So, I mean, maybe you'll love the Atomic Maverick. I love the Atomic Maverick, but I don't think the 86C is the shortcut you're necessarily thinking it is. I think that the consistency in what's in the ski just kind of changes some of the characteristics of the flex, but the unforgiving part, in my opinion, comes from the shape. It really has to be dialed in to get those pinpoint turns. I like it, but there are more accessible skis out there. Blizzard Rustler 10 might not be a bad option, I'm not sure. Anyway, thanks for the comment. Alright, Tahoe Land says, "Hey Elliott, really been enjoying your reviews this year. Your alright is iconic." Thanks. May I ask for some suggestions? I ski Tahoe exclusively, where we tend to get lots of heavy, sometimes very heavy snow. My 29 DPS Foundation Whaler 99s feel unmanageable and hard to turn in heavy snow and chop. They're also taller than me and sometimes scary in tight places. Looking for a narrower, shorter, more manageable and maneuverable second ski that is better in bad snow and exploring glades and low stakes chutes. I never ski very fast, never jump, and really enjoy exploring off trail. I'm also pretty lightweight. Maybe the Enforcer 89? Thanks. I just got done with my review of the Enforcer 94. I don't know what to tell you in this regard. This is a ski that you want to do a lot of different things, right? You want it to be good in heavy, wet snow, which means that it usually needs to be kind of a chunky ski. But then you also want it to go off trail where the snow is usually worse than when it's groomed. And you want it to explore glades and low stake chutes. I don't know what to tell you. There's no perfect ski for that. My best guess would be like a Salomon QST 92 or a Volcal Mantra 88. I don't think any ski does exactly what you're describing. The problem is when you get a really heavy, dense ski that does well in soft snow, it's not always very like hoppy. It's usually kind of heavy and dense. So then when you get it going like the hop turns off trail in those little narrow chutes, well, that causes problems, right? I would recommend just like pick what you want to do. Do you want it to be good in wet, heavy snow? Go with the Mantra 88. Go with, you know, a Stokely Storm Rider or something like that. Even the Enforcer 99 does an okay job at it. And then if you want a ski that's really maneuverable off trail, you know, you could go with the Black Crow's Octo, Black Crow's Mirror's Core, even if you like that kind of freestyle ski. Oh, you know what might be good actually that's fairly dense and pretty maneuverable? Actually, go with a Meier Mustang would be my first choice for that. And get it in like a 172 or something. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. I haven't skied the Enforcer 89, so hard to say, but I wasn't too crazy about the Enforcer 94, and it did not do well, the 94, on off-trail settings. Like, it was like a boat rudder. You just kind of point it, and then it would go that way. There wasn't much involvement there. Yeah, that's what I would do. A Meier Mustang or, you know, Volcal Mantra 88, something like that. That's my best guess. Thanks so much for the super thanks, and thanks for supporting the channel. Oh geez, this one's like a month ago. Sorry this took me so long. I think this was right around the time of my trip, and this one just kind of went under the radar. But John Cad 3847 says, "Thanks for the great content and answering viewer questions. Wondering if I could get advice on self-help tips I can use in determining if my boots have the correct amount, too much or too little flex. I'm 6'1", 220, high intermediate skier." Okay, you're similar build to me. "I come from a multi-sport background and ski with an athletic posture. I ski the Atomics Hawx Magna 110 boots, can be adjusted to 120 flex if desired. For example, would I be experiencing some level of pain in my boots were too high or low flex? What other skiing issues, if any, would likely occur as a result of skiing the wrong boot flex?" Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that can happen. You can get shin bang if they're too stiff. You can get a lot of really bad calluses and bone spurs if they're too big or if they're too soft, which means that you're going to flex and you're going to have too much movement in your foot because your shin is kind of going out of range of what it should be. There's a whole number of issues you can get. I have a whole video on boot fitting and you can kind of see, but basically if you looked at yourself from the side, and if your knee goes too far over your toe, that's too soft. If you can't get it to a certain point, then it's too stiff. A lot of people have their boots a little too soft. The other problem too is that when you're trying the boots on, you're in a warm ski shop versus out on the cold mountain. Some of that depends, like out in Idaho, it's never that cold, you know, within reason. And Vermont, it can be really cold. So It just depends on the climate as well and how the plastic responds. But I would go and watch that video to kind of get an idea. But a lot of people, if you have your boot too soft, it creates a whole bunch of problems. I actually raced with boots that were too big and too soft, and I have a permanent bone spur on my right heel because the heel was just dragging up and down and rubbing up against the plastic. And yeah, I've had that since wearing those boots, and that's permanent for me. So yeah, it can cause a lot of problems. I know going to boot fitters is expensive, and I kind of get the hesitancy around that, but ski boots are the most important piece of equipment. And if you're not sure, it might be money well spent just going and paying someone to properly fit you. If you have some idea of what you like and you've had people fit you in the past and you're kind of like working off of a decent amount of knowledge, I've had pretty good luck fitting myself for boots, but I know that not everyone's in that kind of same situation. I would check out my videos. I've got some pretty good information there, and same for like Ski Monster. They've got some really cool boot fitting content. I think that's kind of one of their strengths over there, so I would check that out. But yeah, having the boots too soft also can create a bunch of issues where like you end up doing upper body movement to try to just get the ski to initiate because you're not getting the power from your shin into the ski, and there's a whole mess of bigger issues that can be caused by the boot flex being wrong. Great question. Sorry that took me so long to reply. All right, the last comment comes from Xenon2561. They say, why do you only test all mountain / powder skis and no carving, GS, and slalom skis? Great question. I mean, a lot of it is partially just what I can get my hands on, right? Like early on in the channel, a lot of what I could demo at the demo center are all mountain skis. That's just what they have in stock. That and powder skis or light powder skis. There's not a lot of places out there demoing slalom and GS skis, and it's been what, like a decade and a half since I raced. So any race skis I have belong in a museum at this point. I mean, they're ancient. So yeah, that's why I don't do any of that content. I'm always open to it, and I've done a couple of carving skis when they've been available to me, but a lot of it is just what's available and also what people are looking for. I think all mountain skis have gotten so good at carving that there's a wide variety of people looking for all mountain skis. So there's several reasons, but I would say that that's probably why I kind of lean towards all mountain. One, because I use them. I like them. I think that they're really good at carving now. They're available to demo, and they're popular amongst skiers, so the brands are more willing to work with me and get them to me. So that's kind of why I stick in that area. But, you know, if a carving ski is available to me, I'm always more than open to reviewing it and looking at it. Great question, thank you. So anyway, that's the end of the video. If you like this kind of content, please consider liking and subscribing. That's a free way to support the channel. You can also become a member if you want your comments prioritized. That's kind of how I went through today. And if you're gonna buy any of these skis, or you're just shopping for skis in general, please use the links down below. Even if you don't buy that specific ski, if you click on it and then click to another ski, it still gives the channel credit. That's a way of supporting the channel without spending any additional money, and it's honestly how we're able to keep making these videos each week. So if you like this kind of content, you want to support us and don't want to spend any additional money, that's a great way to do it. But as always, more than anything, the best thing you guys do is just watch the videos. Take time out of your day to watch my content. It means a ton to me. I can't believe this many people watch and care what I have to say. It means a ton to me. And yeah, so thank you to you guys. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.